Good evening, everyone. This is Malcolm Peters on the 27th of August, 17. I'm going to ask all my guests to mute their microphones, please, because otherwise we sound like we travel. And I've got to make sure I go into Google here. We don't seem to be broadcasting at the moment. Oh, there we go. I'm going to ask all my guests to mute their mic. Thank you, Malcolm. Good evening, everyone. Malcolm Peters here for our Sunday evening team call for GPG. It's always a pleasure, especially on a day like this, a fabulous sunny day, one of the rarest sights in England, to have this weekend call that we have every Sunday at this time. The call normally is at 7 o'clock, so it enables people from Cyprus, from Greece, from Israel, as far as India. I know it's 11:30 at night, but I know that a lot of people listen in. So the whole world of Jeunesse Global and part of GPG can listen to the call. I'm your host tonight. I'm actually calling in from a place called Heathrow, not far from Heathrow, near Heathrow Airport in London. And tonight I have a fantastic, rowdy bunch of guests who I know is very close friends of mine, who are going to share a lot of fantastic information with you. The call is designed to do three things. First, it's designed for brand new people, people who've just joined your teams. They don't know their footing. They're not sure where they're at. This gives them an idea of the fabric of the training that we've got in place, parts and parcels of the wonderful support system we've got in GPG. Second, it's there for new guests who are just looking at your business. Maybe they've got a little bit of a story. They're not too sure. It fills in a lot of gaps and gives them a really good idea of how we work as GPG worldwide. And third, most importantly, is to reinvigorate, to fire up, and to motivate existing distributors who sometimes get laden with dust and cobwebs, and we sort of wipe them off at the end of every weekend to make sure they're fired up as well. So if you come online, please introduce yourselves, your first names, and where you're calling from. We've got Leah calling in from Rotterdam. Hi, Leah. Welcome to the call. Leonardis, welcome to the call from Greece. Nikos, welcome to the call from Athens. We've also got Dimitri. Hi, Dimitri. Welcome to the call. My regards to Eleni, my lovely lady friend from Greece as well. We've got here Raphael from Greece. Excellent to have you online. Anna, welcome to the call. Again, Greece, big showing tonight. Eleanor, Krista, welcome to the call. Not from Las Vegas, but I believe you're back in Athens as well. As you come online, please introduce yourselves, your first names, where we're calling from. We've had a slight challenge with one of my guests, Jennifer, who was going to call in from Zambia. So what we're going to try and do is to make sure that she's invited to the call next week as well. Settle down, everybody. It's going to be a fantastic call. It's a wonderful sunny afternoon here in England. And this call, I believe, is going to have some fantastic content that's going to help you with your business. And I love the Sunday calls because they prepare us to really start a brand new week, a new dawn, a new beginning, as we call it as well. So I'm going to introduce a few more guests who've joined us, and then I'm going to move on straight away to our guests who've joined us. As you come online, introduce yourselves. You need to sign into Google. If you're signed into Google, you can use the chat feature. If you're not signed into Google, you can't. So tonight, I'm going to quickly just go through the guests that I've got online. One of them's incognito. He normally tends to be, because we're always waiting to find out what wonderful dress he's got on today. But this is my good friend Oliver calling in. So first of all, we've got the lovely Sandy Chambers calling in from Canada. Welcome to our call, Sandy. We've got Emerald Director calling in from Ontario in Canada as well. Judy, most of you get to know her. Fantastic trainer, incredible experience in this industry. We got our good friend here, the sharp businessman calling in from Cyprus. I have a really soft spot for him. His name is Kostas. Great business experience, and I'm so pleased today at last he's got a camera and a microphone that works, because we've been working with very, very old-fashioned tools in the past. And we have an enigmatic guest, Oliver, who today is globe-trotting, and he's out there in Greece with my good friends, Haralampos and Helena as well. So let's get the call started. Really, I'd like to say welcome to those of you who've joined us. A few more people have joined us. Debbie Inns, welcome to the call. Haralampos, welcome to the call. We've got Debbie, who's called us from Canada as well. So set yourselves down, get yourselves ready. I hope you have some paper and a pen. And without further ado, the first guest I've got is someone I'm very fond of. I got to meet her first and I got to really know this couple well at a retreat that we had in Florida. And this is an inner circle retreat that we had. I've known of Ian and Judy for many years, and we've worked together on the outskirts, working with Paula and Kathy. We're a close team, really. We've always known each other, and we always find ourselves attracted to each other when a great deal comes along. And we absolutely believe that this is what we've all been waiting for all our lives. And Judy tonight, Emerald Director, is going to share with you some of the fundamentals that people tend to forget about our home-based business, in particular network marketing. And she's going to be talking to you about duplication, first mover advantage, edification, and just about anything else that she wants to. My pleasure and my privilege to introduce the wonderful Judy Murray, calling in from Ontario, Canada. Judy.
Malcolm, thank you so much. Can you hear me all right? Am I loud and clear? Fabulous. First of all, I just want to thank you for hosting these incredible Sunday afternoon events. It's the afternoon, so wherever you are on a Sunday. They've just been incredible, and they've been instrumental really in helping people, like Malcolm, you mentioned, new people who've been in for a while, people looking at it, people maybe who just need to, kind of brush the dust off of them, and it just invigorates people. But, and thank you for that. I want to talk a little bit initially about duplication, and I think if you were on the call last week, I think it was last week, wasn't it? How time flies. Duplication is critical to your business. And if you're not duplicating yourself, or if you're not surrounding yourself with people who are going to do this business with or without you, you're going to be in big trouble. So the key thing is, I'd like you to write this down. You want to surround yourself with people who will do this business with or without you. And duplication, if there's no duplication in your business, the hard fact is your business will not grow. It just won't grow. And why do we get involved in this amazing company, this amazing industry, is to build a residual income. I talk about real estate. We're real estate. And I compare it to McDonald's, having McDonald's franchises all over the world. They're not in the hamburger business. They're in the real estate business that just so happen to be selling hamburgers. Well, someone said, well, that's a different analogy, but think about it for a moment. We're real estate. How many of you would you like to have all over the world in different countries? Well, that's real estate. So, duplication, what you want to do is you really want to write your list. And as soon as I get people started, this is network marketing basics 101. You want to write your list of people, all kinds of people. People who have great credibility, people who have a good circle of influence. I covered a lot of this last week. People who have a positive attitude, people who know a lot of people who have the entrepreneurial mindset, people who have a prosperity mindset. So, and then what I do with our group, when I get brand new people in, is I help them. I go over their list with them. Don't ever leave someone alone. Don't leave them alone with a list. They don't know what to do. So what you want to do is you want to go through that list with them. And you want to ask them, okay, Joanne, who's this person? What do they do? Do you know what motivates them? Do you know what their why is? Do you know what really sparks them? What gets them going? They have an entrepreneurial mentality. I want to know who these people are on the list for sure. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So what I do is when I take a look at that list, now I may not be with that person. I might just be writing it down. I might be on a call. I might be on a Skype call. They might send me a copy, but I take notes. So they might say, oh yeah, Bob's fantastic. Bob has the entrepreneurial mentality. He's done this, he's done that. I think Bob would be great. I said, fantastic. Let's send him this video. Just keep it short, sweet. Say, and let them know what you say. Give them the words, give them the verbiage. Too many people come into this business with a high level of anxiety and a low level of knowledge. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. So it's your responsibility to do the memory jogger. Let them know the type of people you want them on the list. Let them know what videos. Take them through the J-Mobile, all those fantastic videos. Give them the words. Give them the verbiage. And I keep it short. I say the first thing you want to do, the products are fantastic. We wouldn't have done $1.4 billion for nothing if it wasn't for these amazing products. So let's get your business started quickly. If you were, and I want them to think like this because you're going to be duplicating. Everything you do has to be duplicatable. So what you do with them, they're going to do with their brand new people. So you want to keep this as simple as possible. Simple is highly duplicatable. So then I just give them the words, I give them the verbiage. And a lot of it is on the GPG site. If you go under the Global Partners Advantage, it's under law, it's under files, and you have scripts there. You have bullet points there. You have everything there to help you. And all I say is this, you know what, Joanne, you want to just give Bob a quick text or email and say, hey, Bob, listen, I have something I want you to look at. $1.4 billion company last year. They're 8 years old. Business of the Year award alongside Google, AT&T. Products backed by solid science. Nobel Prize winning. We even have a product that's Nobel Prize winning, a formula that's Nobel Prize winning. We have products that no one in the world has. But you know what? And that's where I stop. I don't go into the products. I want to build a business. I want to build my board of directors as soon as possible. So have your people think, if you were to start a multi-million-dollar business, if you were to take $1 million loan from the bank and start your own business, who would you want to surround yourself with? Who would they be? What type of people? I want you all right now, the distributors that are in the business right now, that are listening to this, take a look at your organization. You take a look at the distributors. Would you hire them or would you fire them? I know this is harsh, but I'll tell you something. You don't have time to waste with people who just don't get it. So would you hire them or fire them? So everything you do has to be duplicatable. So once you have them do their memory jogger list, once you have them go to the GPG and download the files and look at the scripts, look at the bullet points, you're helping them with their memory jogger, you're determining what videos to send certain people. And remember, you are helping them. You can't just leave them and expect them to do it because they don't know what to do. So let's say a week flies by. Let's say a few days fly by and you'll say, okay, what happened, Joanne, to Bob? Remember you said you were sending Bob this and that and you're going to call him, you're going to email him. What happened? Oh, I haven't done it yet. Okay, for me, that's one. That's a little check because I want to work with people that are coachable, that are coachable. What about Carol? You said Carol, you said you were going to send an email right away to Carol. Did you do that? Oh, no, I haven't done that. Well, I don't have time. You don't have time. You want to work with people who have the sense of urgency. That sense of urgency and fear of loss is what I always say. A sense of urgency, fear of loss. Then I say, well, and hey, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. They may have had a tough week personally. I'll say, when can you get to your list? When can you send? Because, you know, these people, the emails or the text or the video, or when you're going to call them, I want to know. Oh, I'll do it Friday. Fantastic. If I call them on Monday and I'm speaking with them next week and they still haven't done it, I'll say, Joanne, I thought you were serious about this. My position is to help you see success as soon as possible, but you've got to do these things. So, you know, you have to identify your people right away. Now, let's say you do have, Joanne is doing everything. Well, you're going, great. You've got a fantastic distributor like you, who creates a sense of urgency, who's taking their business very seriously. And what I say to Joanne is, Joanne, you want to duplicate yourself as soon as possible. And let's take a look at all these names on here. Fantastic. Okay, you've sent a video to that person, you've called that person, you've texted that person. Great. Now let's get back to them. Now this is where the duplication comes in. Let's get back to all of them, because let's say you've contacted 10 people in that week or 20 people in that week. And what you're going to do is you're going to follow up, but you're going to follow up. I always like to follow up the very next day. And I know Sandy Chambers is going to be tagging on to what I'm teaching you this morning, or what I'm relating to you all this morning. But what I do is I get back to I say, you want to get back to these people quickly. If you're sending them a video, you say, Joe, can you look at it tonight at 8 o'clock? Or if you're texting or emailing them, say, Joe, I know you're busy, but after you get the kids to bed, I'll give you a call at 9 o'clock. Will that work for you? Either texting or emailing. And if they say yes, or I'll look at it. If they say, yeah, I'll look at it in a couple of days, I'll say, well, I need to know when you're going to look at it. And there's a reason for that. I don't want to give someone the information, the videos and you know, all the information without knowing when they're going to look at it. or when to set the next appointment where I'm going to follow up. Well, listen, Joe, you know what? I'm going to call you tonight at 9 o'clock. Will that work for you? Will you have looked at it then? Yeah, that sounds great, Judy. Great. And I follow up. There's a reason people say the fortune's in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And too many people are not following up. So for those of you that are new in this business, that are looking at that are listening to me right now, the follow-up is critical. Develop a sense of urgency. Let them know when you're going to follow up. Ask them when are they going to look at the information. So let's just say you've sent all the videos out to 10, 20 people. And at the end of the week, you're going to say, well, Joe, you know what? You've had an opportunity to take a look at the video, to look at some information. You've had a three-way call with my business partner. I never use the network marketing lingo ever. I always say you've had a three-way call or you've had a conference call with my business partner, Malcolm Peters. And, so they've had at least 2 or 3 exposures. For me, the third exposure is it for me. That's just me. I give someone 3 exposures and they have enough information to make a decision. I always say to them at the end, you've had all these, you've had all the news, you've spoken to everybody. Do you see this as a fit for you? Because I think you'd be great. Always compliment people. Do you see this as a fit for you? Or do you see yourself fitting in here? Because you know what, Bob? Oh my gosh, I think you'd be fantastic. You'd be amazing. And I've even said to certain people, if you really understand what you're getting involved in, this company and this industry, you'd be lethal. And they kind of listen to you, look at you and go, what? Really? Oh, you'd be amazing. You have great leadership skill. Complimenting is so important. I can't stress that enough. In sincerely complimenting someone on a trait that they may have. So what you're doing, everything you do is duplicatable. So they're looking at you and they're watching you and they're thinking, Judy sent me a video. She said to me, hey, take a look at this. It's only 2 minutes. May or may not be for you, but oh my gosh, I haven't been able to get you to my mind. I really want you to look at this. They gave me those short bullet points that I just mentioned about the company and a bit about the product. I can do this. I can do that. Because you see, people are thinking in their head, am I willing to contact my friends, family, and business associates? Can I do this? Do I have the time? So everything you do has to be duplicatable. Very quickly, because I just have one more thing I want to cover. I remember when we first started, I would go to someone's home, and Sandy, you know who I'm talking about. I'd go to someone's home, and there'd be a huge crowd in the home. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. And there'd be all kinds of people. But the woman who was having the event had tons of wine and champagne and huge cheese trays and fruit trays and sandwiches. And I'm thinking, and it was pretty elaborate. And I'm thinking, oh no, this is so not duplicatable. And the reason being is the people that are there, maybe some of them cannot afford to do this. Who's going to, maybe someone's looking at this saying, oh my gosh, I'd love to do this business, but I can't afford all the wine and the champagne and the fruit trays and the cheese trays and the sandwich trays. I can't do this. You see, always think in your mind what you're doing has to be duplicatable. What you're saying has to be duplicatable. So keep it so simple and use the tools. And I just want to talk about 2 quick things. And I'll talk about edification in a moment, but I want to talk about first mover advantage because this is following. So let's say you've contacted all these people and you're saying, Joe, I've already contacted 10 people. They've had a conference call with my business partner, Malcolm Peters, and they're seriously taking a look at it. But my gosh, Joanne, I really would like you to come in to get into this business. Let's get you registered and started. If you see this as a fit for you, I think it'd be amazing because everyone else, when they come in, they'll be going down underneath you and 100% of that volume will count for you, Joanne. And you know what, Joanne? It would be such a shame to miss it. It would be such a shame to miss all of that volume. So what you're doing is it's called first mover advantage. You're creating that sense of urgency. You're finding out where Joanne is in terms of her thinking and in terms of her making a decision to come into your business. Does that make sense, Malcolm? So, and then I keep going. Well, you know what, Judy, I don't know. Well, you know what, Joanne, let me know as soon as you can, because I know Bob. I met with Bob today, and Bob is so excited. But I really don't want you to miss this opportunity, because Bob's going to explode. He's getting involved, or he's looking seriously at this, and he's going to build an amazing business. So let me know do you think you can let me know in the next couple of hours? Can you let me know by 9 o'clock tonight? Because I know Bob will be coming in first thing tomorrow morning. But be sincere. Don't make stories up. It has to be sincere. So what you do is you go through every single one. And that's why I say you should have 20 people in your pipeline at various stages of exposure to this business at all times. Really important. And then if Joanne doesn't get, or let's say Carol doesn't get back to you, you try Joe, you try Sue, you suck Aaron, you know, whatever, and you just keep going until someone says, yes, yeah, okay, let's get started. And I'll say, okay, let's get you going. And then I'll call Sue and I'll say, Sue, I said, Bob's signing on right away, but I listen, he's coming in the next hour. I told him I'd call back in an hour. Are you ready to get rolling here? Do you see what I mean? You see how this can create such an amazing, exciting journey for everyone, but you've got to get out there and talk to people. Last thing, so that's the first mover advantage. Edification. I can't tell you how important this is. If you're on a call with Malcolm, you're on a call with Paul and Kathy, you're on a call with your sponsor, you're on a call with someone, even if it's a sideline. You know, Oliver's sideline to me. And I will still say, you know what? You couldn't have picked a better person than Oliver. Oliver is amazing. You're in really good hands. We're so excited to be working with Oliver. He's building a very successful business. Always edify, because that other person on the other end of the line is saying, or wondering, what about Oliver? What about this person that's introduced me to you? Who's Oliver? I mean, does he have great credibility? I mean, you know, so I edify people on the line. I always say, you couldn't have picked a better person than Oliver. You're in really good hands with Oliver. He's building a very successful team. And, you know, you couldn't be part of a better group. So always edify. So that was very quick, Malcolm. I hope I didn't go over time. You know, I can talk all day on these topics. So back to you.
That was absolutely fabulous. I'd just like to pick a few points up, because I think a lot of people tend to forget. And, you know, these calls do go on a little bit, but I want to make sure that the most important part that was picked up. I think people, generally speaking, Judy, don't quite understand the plan. Now, that's a big statement to make, because if they understood the plan and they understood spillover, they'd never have a problem trying to talk about what you're talking about. And I remember talking to a few people exactly what you're saying. You're saying to them, listen, you need to make a decision. If you're coming in, that's great. If you're not coming in, that's great. But I'll tell you this, if you come in now, everyone who comes in after you is going to be part of your business. And I love what you said. Their volume is going to be part of your volume as well. I'm going to give you a couple more closes before I bring my next guest online. Closing is not a big deal. We're not asking people for 50,000, a million, 200,000, 75,000 for a franchise. We're talking about 250 to 1,500. Stupid money, silly money. You couldn't get a kebab shop or a bicycle selling ice cream, if they still have those, going right, ding, 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 you know, selling ice cream cones for that. It doesn't work that way. So it's important. And, you know, I want to just say a couple of things, if I can, of how to close. It's important. Most people lose it because they're so panicked about what they're saying. If you're calm, and you've done a presentation, Judy's done a presentation, she's done a three-way call with you, you've seen a presentation online, you've seen a video, whatever it is, these are the three things I always ask people. One, wasn't that amazing? Which part of the presentation did you like best? Wasn't that amazing? Which part did you like best? If they're quiet and looking at you like a muppet, then you've got to say something like, did you like the picture of the guy with a hole in his face, etc. Now, I know all of you have got slides I've put together, which Paula, I've said to Paula, please use them. All of you using it. It's put together to teach you that. So you can point to a part of the presentation. Second, you can say to them is, can you see yourself using this great product? I'll write this down. Can you see yourself lose? Now, if they're sitting there and you've done a demo like I do, they're sitting there like they're going, well, yeah. And you nod your head. Can you see yourself using this great product? And can you see a market for it? And the third question is the most important question, and this is how you do it exactly every time. You use your hands and you say, putting aside any questions you have at the moment, can you see an opportunity for yourself here? And then you keep quiet. Putting aside any questions you have at the moment, in principle, can you see an opportunity for yourself here? The moment they say yes, because you're nodding their head and they nod theirs, you put your hand out and you say, welcome aboard. Let's get you registered and let's get you started. It's less than 8 pence per day, and it's going to give you all the benefits of a great home-based business. Let's get started. Not about the pack and everything else. This is what I do. And then I'm going to say to them, now we got you registered, let's talk about the product you're going to need. 3 things, like I've said to you, remember. Which part did you like best? Can you see yourself using this product and a market for it? And do you see an opportunity for yourself? And one of the great closes I led that way was, and I'm sure she won't mind because she's brilliant, there are lots of different things. And I built this up because I want the next guest to talk to you about this very, very important part. It is called the close. And she's going to talk to you a little bit more about the way she does it, because all of us have different ways. And she's going to add extra material. One of my favorite guests online today, Sandy Chambers, who is one of the best, most knowledgeable trainers I've come across. And if you're someone who really likes retailing, who loves the business as far as products concerned, you couldn't talk to anyone or listen to anyone better than Sandy Chambers. My pleasure and privilege. Sandy Chambers calling in from Canada. Sandy.
Thank you, Malcolm. It's such a pleasure to be on your call as usual. And you had such a magnificent call last week with going for the no. So I thought how appropriate to talk about the close. So many people are so afraid of that no that they don't even want to ask for the close when they first begin. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I realized, you know, when I first got started, I'm often going back to when I first started in direct sales. How did I feel? And I was terrified to ask for the close, because I talked to one person and then they would put me off for a week, a second week, a third week. And by the end of the time when they finally said no, I felt like, oh my gosh, I've got nobody to talk to. So I learned a couple of very important things, and Judy hit on it before, is always have 20 people in your pipeline, so that when they do say yes or no, if they say no, you're excited, like you want to move on. Next is the word that we go for. And it's not, you know, you're not going to fall apart if that person isn't coming in. But the other thing is, I realized that without learning how to close properly, you don't have a business. Because if you keep avoiding, I've seen so many people, instead of asking for the close, what they do is they keep feeding them more and more information. You know, they'll come to you, say 1 week, and say, well, you know, you need to look at this, and then you need to look at this. And sooner or later, the person's lost interest, because all you're doing is feeding more information. The deal is, you want to keep it as simple as possible. You don't want to cloud their thoughts with so much information that they think they'll never learn it. I remember I had been in, Judy and I and Carrie all started in the same company, and after 13 years, there was very little I didn't know about the product, the company, the pay plan, and people would say to me, I could never learn all that. And I realized that I was giving them too much information. So you want to keep it really, really simple. And the trick is that you want to, what was I going to say? Oh, I'm going to repeat myself about saying to them, have more people in the pipeline. Take no is not a personal, you know, don't take it personally, because, you know, it could be the wrong timing for a person. It could be the wrong fit. It could be even the wrong person for your business. They may not fit into what you've got. And so it's a sorting. And what you're trying to do by asking all different peoples is sorting out who is going to add to your team. Not everybody will. So don't take no personally. Do not fear objections. You know, so many people are afraid, what if they ask me a question? That is a good sign, because it shows that they're interested. And as you were saying, Malcolm, the idea is that you don't want to have a lecture when you're talking to them. You want to give them a number of questions. I can remember one time, and you know what, you fail forward. You learn as you fail. And one time, I remember when I was first starting out, I was on the phone to this guy. He was at his cottage, and I was getting no feedback at all. Like, oh, that's interesting, or or nothing. And so I kept talking. I thought something's going to interest him. Something is going to hit his interest button. And I kept talking and talking and talking, and got nowhere. So finally I said, listen, I'm going to send somebody over to see you. And my sponsor was at the other end of the lake. She says, oh, I'm not working right now. I said, honey, get in your boat and go see him. He is worth the ride. And later he admitted that he had held, which is very rude, he had held his phone out to, a mile from his ear. He didn't hear a word I said. But when he had somebody in front of him telling him about the opportunity, he was very excited and came in. So the moral of the story is, if you're asking questions all the time, you're going to find that you'll know whether they're listening to you, that's for sure. And so and I try to avoid no or yes answer questions. I try to say, from what you've heard so far, what interests you the most, the products or the business, of all the products that you've seen, what interests you the most, the health and wellness or the weight management or the, looking good products, and so that they can actually be a part of the conversation. They are my guide to go through what interests them and what's going to pique their interest the most. I remember one time I had Carrie in our last business, and we were talking to this lady doing a three-way call. And she said, I would have to take out a mortgage to afford your product. And a lot of people probably would have said, well, thank you very much, that's too bad, blah, 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 and got off the phone. And instead I turned it around and I said, you know what, we should be talking about the business. You obviously could use some extra cash. And we ended up by bringing her in. So by asking questions, they're going to tell you what you need to talk more about, what they're interested in, so that you don't lose them. Because as you say, sometimes they may be only interested in using the products. I remember recently talking to a lady, and she said, which is right now I am so busy doing what I'm doing, but I would love to start with your products and then you talk about the business later on. And so it wasn't, I wanted to get her in for the business, obviously, but I didn't lose her because I only talked about the business. The other thing that you want to ask about is, I often will ask them at the end before I'm ready to ask them for the close, do you have any questions? Because I want to get their mind clear of, what's going on in the back of their mind before I ask them about the close. And that would lead to just asking them, what do you and I love this, Judy Murray taught me this, Judy. What are you looking for in the business, from the business? That's one of the first questions I ask, because if they don't have a reason, it's hard to build and draw pictures. I often say I love to draw pictures, word pictures for people of what their life could look like if they had unlimited money, if they had unlimited success. And so by asking right off the top what their interests are, what they're hoping to gain from a business, what they'd like more of in their life, it gives you a feel for what these people would be about. The other thing is, when I do ask the question, I remember going to Teresa Gregory. I always believe in doing what the multimillionaires are doing. And I said to her, how exactly do you close? And she said, what I say to them is, Malcolm, if you could rate yourself from 1 to 10, 1 meaning that you're not interested in the product, you're not interested in the business, and 10 meaning that you're so excited you want to sign up and get ready, you want to join right now. How would you rate yourself? And if they say, well, I'm a 7 or I'm an 8, say, that's great. Everything that they say is great. What do you need? What information do you need to get yourself to a 10? And I love that, because so many people can learn to say that. It doesn't, you know, you don't take a deep breath because you're nervous about saying it. It comes out very naturally when you're used to saying it. So it makes it very duplicatable to teach your people. The interesting thing is the objections may come up at that point. Well, I need to know more about this or that. Give them another video, send them whatever, answer the question, and they always go back to the close. If I'm going to set an appointment, it was interesting. There was a study done on retail sales one time. This is not our type of sales, but retail sales. And they were saying that the average person needed to hear this 17 times before they made a decision. Now, that's a little much for us, but do not be afraid to keep going back to people as long as they show an interest. You know, they may have something that you know, they're busy with right now, or they may say, let me look at this, and then maybe they're talking to somebody and they've come up with another objection. That's fine. Always set the appointment for the next time you're going to see them before you leave them. Otherwise, it seems like you're looking for them and they've gone into witness protection. You know, I've had that happen. Where did they go? You know, they were so interested one minute and the next minute they're not answering. But if you've got an appointment scheduled, that is so important to get back to them. Another way of asking the close is, you know, Joanne, if you were to start today, which package would you choose? And we have 3 packages. Never give more of a choice than 3. Even if we have 10 packages, you know. And one of the reasons why we have the jumbo is they will pick the middle. So if you said we have 3 packages to start with, we have a basic, we have an ambassador, and we have the jumbo, which one would you prefer? They're more than likely to go with the ambassador. So often people get caught up in what, you know, selling the little basics. Which basic do you want? We have a skincare and we have this and we have that. Well, why not go and not even discuss what products are in there? This is a business decision. This is the way to get their business started. So it's not about which exactly the products are, unless they have a you know, I know when I started, I wanted to try everything. And so it wasn't about, well, I prefer skincare to health and wellness. I needed to know all of them. And I think most people that are contemplating a business would agree that they want to know more about all the products than just 1 or 2. The deal with objections, you know, quite often, like if it's time, I'm too busy, you need to, in showing the duplication, as Judy was suggesting earlier, if you take hours to go through your talk with them, they're going to see that this takes too long to do a business. But if you can go through it in 20 minutes, what I've been doing lately is just showing you, I know it originated with you, Malcolm, the slideshow. And I just go through it. It's taken me about 20, 25 minutes to go through it. They get a very thorough look at everything. And how can they tell me that they don't have the time? Because it is a short thing. But if you're taking like 5 hours to talk about it, you know what, of course, that's what they're going to be giving you as an excuse. You know, and the other one that's more than common is no time, no money. And that's where you could say, you know, obviously you should be entertaining this business because we could certainly put money in your pocket really quickly. So that is what I had to talk about today. Is there anything else that you would like me to say?
It's always wonderful, Sandy. And like as a true professional, you know, there was a classic example of how everybody differs, and yet it's all the same. So I've got a certain way of working. Sandy's got a certain way, but I've taken a whole lot of notes, and I've learned a lot of things from what Sandy says. I love that. Where do you see yourself right now? If you were to rate yourself, you know, your interest level from a 1, which is you're not interested at all, I'm going to bash you in the face for wasting my time and it's cost me my coffee. No, you don't say that. And a 10, which is, you know, we're ready to start partying and we can have a tequila straight afterwards. Where do you see yourself? I love that. And I think that's a very important thing. And also, I think what you brought into that conversation, like you saw me say, I said, putting your questions aside for a moment, I do that, as we call it, make a note of it, as a trial close. So that's the first thing I try. And if they say yes, they're ready to go. Because it's like walking to a shop. Once you've tried something, say, I'm having it, you don't back out. But if you say, well, I'll be back, I'm going out the shop, you're never going to come back. So I love what Sandy has said, and I think that we can do a full call on it. The other thing she said was about how you present your information. My slideshow, including demonstration and all of it, can be up to 50 minutes, an hour long. You are the person that drives it. If you feel that you don't want this video in there or whatever, that's great. But don't cut it too much, because it's worked for a very long time. So I think that was absolutely brilliant. It's always a pleasure having you online. I can't wait to have you back online talking about the great subject that you talk about is customers. You're all witnessing a lady that used to service and look after 1,000 customers in our last business. And I think that that is absolutely beyond belief. 1,000 people that bought from Sandy on a regular basis. This lady is quite something else. Pleasure talking to you. My next guest has managed to get back online. If we could just mute your call for us, please, Sandy. And I'm going to ask Costas, I'm sure you won't mind that much. Costas is sitting in a village in the mountains somewhere. So he's kept busy with the birds and the bees, I believe. Not that kind of birds and bees, I'm sure. I have a wonderful lady who's come online. It's the first time she's come online. And I'm really very keen to all of you listen carefully to my next guest, who is calling in from a country that's absolutely on fire with this business. We've not had a time to do a sound check or a video check, so I'm sure you'll all not mind too much while we do that very quickly. A lady by the name of Jennifer, who's calling from Zambia, a country that has gone AWOL with our opportunity. And before I bring her on, I want to tell you this. Every excuse that you might have in your brain hole about price and how much it costs, I'm quite sure that talking to Jennifer right now, she's going to blow that out the water. It is my pleasure and my privilege to introduce you all to this lovely lady calling in from Zambia today by the name of Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, Malcolm. Can you hear me?
I can. You're going to have to speak up with a bit of energy there, because we've got that. We're going to, and isn't it wonderful? If you look in the background there, I can see lots and lots of Zen packages there. So you've been a busy lady. Jennifer, welcome to our call. I'd like you, please, if you can, to share with everybody, if you can, what your background is, how you heard about Jeunesse, and what's been happening for you in this wonderful country of yours called Zimbabwe with the fire starter lady, Dr. Nelly. Jennifer.
Zambia.
Fire away.
My background is that I've been in business. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Speak up.
Okay. Okay, Malcolm. It's a great pleasure for me to be on call with great leaders like yourselves. I really feel honored. And joining Jeunesse for me has been very, very welcoming. And I really feel very nice to be part of the family. I started Jeunesse. I would say I was introduced to Jeunesse in February. I was called to a meeting by my sister. And the presentation was done by Dr. Nelly. After the presentation, I actually now started searching online, reading about Jeunesse, what Jeunesse was all about. So after reading, I read about the company, I read about the products, and I think they made sense to me. And one funny part, or what I can say really interested me most, was the starting package. Because I've been in business, and I've never run a business with such a small amount of money of starting the business. So for me, that was the breaking point. I just thought, I think this is something that I would want to do. Because there is a business. The business I do, you have to be there 24/7. And if you're not there to manage the business, it's like you've left an open check for everybody to just write checks to themselves. But when I read about this business, I was very, very fascinated, because this is a business which I can do anywhere, as long as I'm online using my phone. I'm able to do the business without worrying that I'm going to lose the product. I control the product, I control everything, I control the finances. So for me, this was the most important thing that I have never seen.
Can I just interject, because it's very important. I want everyone to hear this. Because you mentioned that you ran a business before, you went to a presentation, and you heard about it, you did a bit more research, you did your due diligence, and you decided to join. I'd like you to share with everybody, please. In a country like Zambia, when you decided to join this business, you've made a comment there that this is the smallest amount of money to start a business. Would you share with everybody online, what is the package that you came in with, if you don't mind, in Zambia? And I've heard you have no credit cards. Explain to everybody what happened about you finding the money, how much you paid, and what happened next, please.
I actually went for the founder package, which was like $1,900.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the package that I chose.
Why did you choose that package?
I chose that package because it had everything that I needed. And for a start, I wasn't even thinking of selling those products because I wanted to experience them myself. Because I feel it's very, very important that you have to experience the product before you introduce them to the clients. Then you'll be able to market the product with confidence because you've already experienced it.
Jennifer, very quickly, I won't interrupt you anymore, but just one more question. So you went there, you've spent $1,900 in Zambia, which is a princely sum. I believe you don't have credit cards there. So how did you get it and how did you pay for the product?
No, we do have credit cards.
Okay.
But it's just that some people don't have credit cards. And this is where the problem is, where if you entice somebody, they don't have the credit card. So what has been happening is they'll pay you the money and then you use your credit card to sign them. Yeah.
I'll let you carry on. So if you can just share with us again, if you the rest of it. So you came into the business. Share with everybody, please. What has excited you? You're a Sapphire. How quickly did you become a Sapphire? Where you see yourself in Zambia going with this business? And what excites and intrigues you about being part of Global Partners team, please?
I think I was so lucky. By the time I joined, there was a promotion, Race for Sapphire. So it came like, very motivating that I really had to drive the business very quickly. So instead of walking, I was running. So I ran, I talked to people, I recruited until I achieved my goal within 2 months. So I attained the rank of Sapphire in 2 months.
Wow. Fabulous. What would you like to share with everybody? I'm going to bring you back on calls. We have a slight echo on the line, and I really would like to welcome you on further calls. But share with everybody at the moment, what are your favorite products? And also what I'd like to share is, you told everyone in 2 months, you came in with a founders pack in Zambia, which is a princely sum, $1,900. You said here, it's the smallest amount of money you've spent on a good business. A lot of people think it's a lot of money. They don't understand what business really is. So it's great to have your clarification on that. You did it in 2 months. So just share with everybody first, you experienced the products. What are your favorite products? And secondly, how did you go about talking to people and what has happened and how are they coming in? Would you like to share that with us, please, Jennifer?
The people have got, sometimes it's not so easy to convince people to join because they're not sure what they are joining in. And the most interesting thing is network marketing in Zambia is something new. It's not a very common business. So it's even us who are in business, we are doing business and learning at the same time. So we are doing a lot of learning. We are listening to webinars. We are listening to all the leaders that have been in business longer than us. And this is where we are actually coming up with strategies on how to do the business.
Jennifer, I just want to ask you a couple more, because I love having you here. I want to tell you why. You know, we have this nonsense in the West where people go and spend thousands and hundreds on meals and bottles of wine that, oh, it's too expensive to join this business. And we've got yourself, who's gone Sapphire in just 8 weeks from a standing start, never done network marketing before, in a marketplace where, you know, this is all very new. And in compared to other products in your market in Zambia, the price quotient is huge. Like, you know, a serum, I'm sure, without putting words in your mouth, is a lot of money for the average person who's working in the farmland, for example. But you went out. What was it that made you fired up to go out? And how did you find people that you felt would be your core team that would take you to Sapphire? Did you go randomly to those people? Or did you go with some conviction and some idea as to who you were going to look for?
Actually, what I've been telling my team is when you look at the basic package, the 3,700, which is like $370. If I look at it from a different perspective, I look at it, if I have that kind of money in a bank, how much interest am I going to earn on it? If the answer is 0, so I would rather I invest it in the business, and when I recruit one person, I'm immediately paid $25, which $25 I wouldn't have made if I had that $370 in an account. So from that perspective, people have been seeing sales, and this is a business, it's ongoing. They will keep building the business, and it's all about as soon as people start understanding the duplication, I think this business is just going to go like bushfire.
Jennifer, I hate to cut you short, and I think that you have given me incredible value. I'm going to ask you to come back on the call. I know you had difficulty coming on. In fact, if you're available next week or the week after, I really would like you on the call again. I'm sure all of my guests and people listening around the world would. We have an echo, unfortunately, Jennifer, with your Apple. So for the next time, if you use an earpiece, we won't have the echo. I would like everyone here to just go through a few things you've said before I bring you to my next guest, because I think it's crucial. There's several things that you've said here. First of all, you didn't have a background in business. You went in with the Founders Pack, which is $1,900. And in your words, the smallest amount of money you put in a serious business. You've gone Sapphire in just 8 weeks. You're on calls, taking as much information as you can. You've said that your business normally is 24/7. If you leave a opening, you're writing checks for other people. So how true that is. And what I love that you have almost finished with, and we're going to pick this up as a thread next week, is that you're asking people a simple question. If you've got $370, let's say for your basic pack in a bank account, how much money are you going to expect to earn from that $370 in a year? I think that is absolutely fabulous. Because the answer these days in England is 0.25% is not a hell of a lot. And you've added on top of that, which I'm going to ask you to bring back on the next call, is what if we can show you a viable and serious business that's going to give you a better return? And I think that that is absolutely genius on your part, Jennifer. It is my pleasure to introduce you on this call. And I'm sure I love your Zen and the color of the roses and the white at the back as well. You've laid it out beautifully.
5 days now, I'm on detox.
You're on detox. Excellent.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to find that wonderful. Jennifer, it's my privilege and really my pleasure to have you on this call. And I know that all of you on the Dr. Nelly are doing some amazing things. I can't wait to come to South Africa and Zambia. And I'm sure that it'll be a lot of fun out there. what I'd like to do is to invite you back onto another call, and hopefully we'll be able to do a sound check to help you a little bit better. But I'm sure everybody on this call would have got a lot of value out of your presence here. Thank you so much for joining us from Zambia. Everybody, Jennifer calling in from Zambia. Thank you, Jennifer. Wonderful having you online. My next guest is someone I really like, and I've met him several times, and each time we call him, he's like an old mama or papa sitting in an old people's home because he's got a little earpiece and machines that are not working. We can't hear him, we can't see him. One of the nicest people that you can meet online is a gentleman who's from a business background. I'd like to introduce you all to Kostas, who's calling in today from Nicosia. I believe he's near Nicosia in Cyprus, a businessman with great experience. Kostas is going to share with you a little bit of his business background and what he sees as the feature benefits of Jeunesse Global in comparison to traditional business, where he's been extremely successful. Ladies and gentlemen, Kostas Stafianos calling in from Cyprus.
Thank you, Malcolm. Amazing call and amazing information from Judy and Sandy and Jennifer. Actually, I'm not in Nicosia. I am in Lefkara. It's a nice village with stone-made houses, and it's one of the best village in Europe. And my holidays are over. So today I'm going back to Nicosia. What I wanted to say about my business, I've been involved in skincare and cosmetic and spa and fitness for the last 26 years. And all that time, I believed that building my business with hard work, I could make a better future for my family, for everybody. And at the same time, I can retire at the point and I can have enough money to spend it. I was wrong, because the business I was involved until 2008, although I started from scratch. In 2008, we hit more than 3 million. I had 35 employees and more than 22 cars. And after the crisis in Greece, a lot of money there. And after the bail-in in Cyprus, we went short 1.5 million. I was looking for different ways to get out of this mess. And what I actually did, a friend of mine introduced me the first time in a company, a network marketing company, and I was really open to go and to see what kind of business is that. But, and I really liked the whole idea. But when I was introduced 2 years ago in Jeunesse, that's the company which I thought, and I believe until now, that I will retire. Why? Because I believe the business that we are in is people, a lot of people, they need to be educated. They need to be, they have to learn the possibilities and what are the trends of the economy and how the economy is changing so dramatically everywhere in the world. When I had my own business, I used to go home at 11, 12 o'clock in the evening. I was the last to get paid. And every month, I had about 100,000 of payroll, and I had a headache before the end of the month. So comparing what I'm doing now to the business that I was before, and all the pressure that I had to get and the weekends that I had to spend in the business, this is by far the best business that somebody can be in. And if people who are ignorant, they can be educated to learn the difference and the possibilities in network marketing, I think we have the best business in the world today. And if a lot of people are not in this business in the next few years, I believe they will regret it, because we see now even in universities, the network marketing profession there is a subject for it as well. There are more than 100 million people working in this business, making huge money. It's not easy, but if people, they don't embrace this business as a profession, And this is what a lot of people are doing wrong. And I've been the last few months and having one person in my team, which I'm blessed to have, and is Rolando Haralambous, who has been, and he had the privilege to be in other companies and work in network marketing. I have seen that the best thing to do and the best way to do this business is, first of all, to have self-development, and starting in the last few months, reading some books and getting more involved in this business in a way that I wasn't at the beginning. I believe sky is the limit. I mean, let's check what we have in front of us compared to other business. We have people that they go from 9 to 5 in a business where they are making a salary, and mostly that salary, it cannot afford for them until the end of the month. They are broke. We are in a business where we can build a network, a channel through customers and partners all around the world. There is no limit. There is no cap. You can, with your performance and with your team performance, you can make a fortune if you plan it right, and if you make it as a business, and you don't go for a short term and you say, okay, I need to make so much money, and you just plan for the next 3 months to make that money. It's not possible. You have to plan it, and you have to accept that you have to make a plan, and you have to do it for 5 to 7 years in order to be successful and to be a 6 or 7 figure earner. And in this business, is the only business you can achieve that kind of money and that kind of success if you do it the way that you have to do it, and you have to spend time and effort in order to achieve it. Mostly people, they go into this business, and I've seen people in my downline that they get engaged, they buy some products, and they talk to 2 or 3 people. They don't make a list of people they know. They don't make a list of 100 or 200 people. And when they talk to 2 or 3 people and they hear the word no, they go out and they say, okay, this business doesn't work. I tried it. It's not working. I lost my money. And they spread the word out without admitting that they haven't tried at all to achieve this business. And after reading in the last few weeks that I was on holidays, and I was trying to read Don't File presentations, the napkin presentations, together with Eric Warim GoPro, and I have listened to the audio a few times, I realized that we are really blessed to be in this company, which, in my opinion, looking at the numbers as a businessman, something that Jeunesse achieved that not any other company in the food supplement achieved in the last 6 years, in the last 50 years. We have an opportunity here that if we really play it right, and if we do it right, we can actually help people change their lives. We can change our life. And I find this extraordinary business with the help of the GPG and with the leadership that we have and with the unique products we have, something that I can talk to anybody. I mean, last 2 weeks, I involved a very big distributor of a line of products in Australia. And I sent to him some videos, and the man is a businessman. And when he saw the videos, he said to me, I want to do business. I'm really happy that you send me this information. He engaged with a 3-package, jumbo package, because he's a businessman. I engaged, when I got in Jeunesse, I got, like what Jennifer said, I got an ambassador package. And the reason why I got the ambassador package is because I wanted to see and test the products. When I used to have orders of products coming to my company, I used to pay 40 and 50,000 euros of products each time. So for me, 1,000 or 2,000 euros was nothing compared to what I invest in my business and compared to the stock I have in my business. I mean, when you have a company that they have 12 distribution centers, you don't need to have stock. You don't have to have salespeople. You don't need to have cars. You don't have expenses. If somebody compares and knows all these things, I can talk to anybody. I don't care who, if it's a businessman or if it's the president of the United States, I don't care. As long as I know what I'm talking about, we have some products that they are unique. We can help people to be more healthy. We have a business which is legitimate, and it's the best model that exists today. And in the next few years, I believe a lot of people who will miss this opportunity will look at us and they will say that they did a mistake not to get involved at the time that they were asked to get involved. What I would like to say as the last thing is that one thing we should do as business people is to embrace this as a profession and think of it seriously, not just, and I think everything depends on our actions. And what Judy said about it's simple, we have to keep it simple, we have to duplicate it, and it has to be duplicatable easily. At the beginning, I was doing it completely wrong. I mean, I learned all the products, all the ingredients, I was doing a very big presentation, and this is a mistake. We have to keep it simple for everybody to understand and to duplicate, and to be able to work with the numbers. I mean, that's something you are, Malcolm, you are very good. And whenever I was looking at your events and your calls on Sunday, I was looking at the numbers. And really, now I understand the power of duplication and of the numbers. It's not the many people you enroll, it's how you treat those people that you enroll. Thank you, Malcolm. It was a pleasure to be at your call.
Malcolm, you're on mute.
There you go. I mentioned your name. You're going to live a long time, Oliver. In my head, I was just saying Oliver, and you said that. I was going to say that I wanted to really cap off what you've said, but I have this wonderful chap. I have an enormous amount of respect for my next guest. And I'm going to just write the notes that I have right now, because I think Costas and Jennifer, you have crystallized something that needs to be the forefront message of GPG. And I think that the inner circle and myself and everybody else needs to really, really define what you both said and make sure that everybody who joins us begins to understand what you've said. And I will finish the call with that, but not before I first get an enigmatic, absolutely extraordinary young man by the name of Oliver Grimley, who's calling in right now from Athens while he's globe-trotting out there with his very tall, swanky frame. Wonderful gentleman who, on his own, really on his own, without too much help and big amounts of spillover and stuff that people dream about, built it to Ruby and built an extraordinary team that is setting fire, not just to the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, but across the whole nation of South Africa, across the whole continent of Africa. Oliver Grimley calling in. Oliver, I'd like to keep it to about 10, 15 max, calling in from Greece. I have no idea what he's going to say, but whatever he does, I can assure you is worth staying on for. Oliver, calling in from Greece. Oliver. After that big build-up, where are you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Oliver.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. So I've clicked the video on. I don't know if you can see me.
No. We can't
cool.
see
so I'm gonna, there you go. I'm here with that and Hara Lampas or Pap. Hi, all.
Hi.
Katerina. So I'm hanging out with other people in Jeunesse. You know, that's the most amazing thing about this business is, I mean, here I am in Greece, right? And that's what Jeunesse can do for you. You know, you so much more than a business. It's a lifestyle. And I just want to you know, expand on some of the points that everyone has shared tonight. And I mean, I thought the information Judy shared was brilliant. As always, Costas, that's so true from a business perspective. I mean, that was great advice. Jennifer, wow, I've sat with you a couple times at the Sapphire dinners and things. And I mean, she just went out and just recruited, and excuse my language, but she got shit done. You know, like, she didn't make excuses. She's in a country, Zambia, which is not a first world country. You know, she had every excuse in the book to not do this business. I think the average income of someone in Zambia is like not even a tenth of what it is in the USA or somewhere like that. And, you know, every excuse in the book, and didn't let that affect her, just went out there. And did you hear what she said? She said, I just went out and recruited, and I just kept recruiting because that's what pays, right? And she just did it, and she persisted. And I was actually sitting with Haralampos and Elena today speaking about, you know, athletes do so well in business. And, you know, Haralampos was an Olympic coach for the swim team. I'm a tennis player. Helena, let me tell you, can hit a ball. I played some paddle tennis with her today. I almost kicked my ass there. So, you know, they're athletes. And that's the mentality you can take away from an athlete, is that they persist. You know, they miss and they lose most of the time to win that one time. That's what you got to remember, is you see the victory, but you don't see all the hard work. You don't see all the sweat behind the scenes. You don't see all the suffering and the pain and the hours that are going in off court. That's where the winning is done. You know, the winning is done in the build-up. And, you know, people look and they say to me, and I was speaking to at dinner tonight, and I thought to myself, you know, they asked me, what did I do before Jeunesse? I didn't go Sapphire in a month. It took me 2 years of doing events and being in the seminar industry where I spoke to hundreds of people a day, literally. So I was refining my networking skills for years before I actually got involved in Jeunesse. I was doing events, talking to people, collecting business cards, you know, on a daily basis, literally. And that's where I learned a lot of the fundamental skills that have helped me in network marketing, right? And then just to go on to, well, before I go on to what Costa says, let me expand on this. So that athletic mentality, that persistence, that to succeed, that's crucial. But at the end of the day, it comes down to talking to people, right? That's what network marketing is. How many people are you speaking to on a daily basis? Paula says success is in the show. It's actually showing with the business, and there's many ways to show it. You learn that, but the point is, how many people are you speaking to on a daily basis? How many people are you going out there and having a conversation with? How many people are you speaking to over the phone? Whether it's on social media, how many are you connecting with? That's what network marketing is about. So you just need to connect with more people. Going on to Costa's point, that's so true. People think about, you know, what it costs them to join Jeunesse. But what they're not thinking about, and this is what you have to tell them, when somebody says it's expensive, say to them, and they say, well, you know, it's expensive for me to join. It's going to cost me a lot of money to join. This is what you say to them. You say to them, okay, but what's it going to cost you if you don't join? And just pause and watch the light switch go on. If they have any brains whatsoever, you'll see quite a sort of interesting moment where they'll go, holy moly, you're right. What's it going to cost me not to join? Another question I say to people is, do you have what you want right now? Do you have everything you want? People say to me, no, I don't have everything I want. Okay, cool. So if you keep doing what you're doing, what do you think you're going to get? And they say to me, you're right. I'm going to say you're going to keep getting what you got. So if you're going to get something different, but you keep doing what you're doing for the next 5 years, what do you think you're going to have in 5 years' time? You're going to have the exact same situation. So for you to get something different in the next 5 years, you need to change something now. You have to make a switch. And I'm saying, if you do this, where could you be in 5 years? Maybe you're there. But even if you're not, you're probably going to be in the same place you are if you don't do it or you do it. Does that make sense? So there's no risk. There's no risk. You're literally swinging a bat at a ball that you might hit, but you don't even swing the bat if you don't take a shot and you don't get involved. So there's no loss. And really, what I'm saying is, what is your opportunity cost? That's what I'm saying from a business perspective, because what you're really asking to people is what will it cost you not to join this business? What is that cost? You know, what is that cost? By not joining, what is that cost? That's the cost of your freaking dream going down the drain, potentially. Because right now, I don't see any other plan that you have to get you what you want. And you living in this dream world that if you just keep going on the track you're going on, that somehow, I don't know how, it's amazing. People believe, they're so optimistic that they're in this illusion that they think one day if they just keep working hard in their job, they're going to arrive. They're never going to arrive. That's a sad truth. They're never going to arrive. And you just have to help them to feel that pain. You know, Tony Robbins says people make decisions when they're really close to pain or they're driven by an extreme sense of pleasure, an idea of pleasure. But let me tell you, it's much easier to get people moving with pain than it is with pleasure, right? So scare people, get them to have a vision, create a worst case scenario in their mind of what their life will look like, and get them shit scared of that vision. And that will make them want to join this business, because I find that really works. And another thing Costa said is almost done, 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm nearly done. So Costa said, business people make money, but let's be honest, it's stressful. It's a stressful thing. This is a lifestyle business. And this is what you have to realize. I'm here in Greece right now. I've been in the sun in the last 2 days, eating great food, playing tennis, doing all this stuff. And I'm making the same amount of money that I make when I'm in South Africa anyway. It's unbelievable. I mean, how cool is that? That's the type of lifestyle. So you're building this business around your lifestyle. I was on a bus from Belgium to Amsterdam. I met a guy from Argentina. He's in the business. I signed him up. Granted, he's absolutely nuts, but I mean, you never know who he knows. And then I was in Belgium, and I met a girl from New York. And today they were on a call with Helena and Charalampos. The girl is in fashion. She's connecting with Helena in Milan. She's going to the university, and she's brilliant. And she joined today, and she says she's got contacts all over the world. So I've signed up 2 people while I'm having a good time. Isn't that amazing? So I'm building my business internationally just by traveling, and I'm building it around my lifestyle. I'm not building my lifestyle around my business. Tell me how many businesses you know where you can do that. And then the last thing I just wanted to say is the edification. You know, Judy Murray put it perfectly when she said edification is key. But we need to edify more than just each other. We need to edify the industry, because by doing that, you know, we're all going to benefit. And abundance is key. There's more than enough people out there for everyone on this call to go diamond. I want you to remember that, because literally if you think that you need to go out there and get them before somebody else, you're living in a scarcity mentality. There's 7 billion people on the planet, and there's more and more and more being born every day. There's too many people. You just need to just go out there and speak to more people and realize that, you know, if you do that and you believe in yourself and you persist and you just live by these 2 words, never quit, you will succeed. So thanks so much, Malcolm, for letting me share.
It's always brilliant. And I think that a lot of people here underestimate exactly the value of the enormous amount of knowledge that you share with people, because your skill set is quite extraordinary for the age group that you're in. And I think it's always a pleasure to have you in the call. And I'm going to finish off. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, I keep telling people this. That's the amount of notes that I've made this evening. That's the amount of notes. You know what I can't understand, and Oliver will agree, and everybody else? We do meetings and people sit there like that on the chair and they listen. And I find it extraordinary that 35,000 impulses are going through your brain every microsecond. And amongst all of that, you're going to remember what was said. When you make notes, you remember what was said. I've got your microphone still on, please, Oliver, if you can just switch that off. I want to wind the call up very quickly with these points. What were the key points that you got out today? I think this was an absolutely extraordinary call. For me, the key points that came across were beautifully put together by Oliver there, really were about the business. Are you curious or are you serious? And if you think about what was said there by Jennifer and was said by Costas, you need to take this call. I'm going to put it live online today and listen to it again and again. You know why most people fail here? Because they don't take this seriously. They come in and they're going to give it a try. You know, let's see how we get on with it. The do or die mentality is what Jennifer's got. She went out there, bought a pack for $1,900, as Oliver really knows, an enormous amount of money in a country where they don't have really the support structure that we have got in the West. we've gone out there, and through Oliver, Empo, and Nelly, they've gone out there, they've got hold of this, and they run with it because they see it as a life-changing, serious, proven opportunity. I'm going to leave you with these thoughts. I want you to really think about this. There is no question that this business works. None. No question at all. I did that with this guy. We were sitting outside a train station the day before yesterday, having a coffee, top of my voice. And I've got a loud voice. No question it works. The question is, what's going to motivate you to work it? And I love what Oliver says, taking it away from those people. What will it cost you not to do this? Oliver, I wish I had that the other day. I learned everything on these calls. No question it works. We've got people who are making more money here in this business right now, and Costas can relate to that, than 95% of UK limited companies. Can you imagine that? I want you to think about that. No question. In 2015, Kim Hu was earning $500,000 a month. That's not an income testimonial claim. That's fact. Fact. That's $125,000. That was 2 years ago. I would say on this call live, and I can say, because I can say anything on these calls, she must be getting at least 3 times that now. So what is the difference between Kim Hu and you watching this call right now? I tell you what it is. First of all, it's hard work. There is a little bit of luck involved as well. There is. But you know something that Oliver's proved? You know something that Nelly's proved? You know something that for sure everyone on this call has proved, like Sandy and the wonderful Judy? The harder you work, the luckier you get. True or not true? If you go out and you talk to people, there's a lot of people that have too much time who want to become managers. It happened in one of my teams. They're sitting in the dome telling people, go out and build deep, go and do this, and they don't do it themselves. You want to get lucky in this business. You go out to work like Oliver did. He signed up 2 people in the last few days. I can't finish my call with anything else but saying this. There is no question it works. Question is, what's going to motivate you to work it? What is that nightmare scenario? For me, I could never do anything else. If you can't make it with Jeunesse Global, the world's fastest growing company, shoulder to shoulder with people like Microsoft, Apple, eBay, and Amazon, you think you're going to do it selling some oil or crap like that? Do you believe that a company like ours that's out there in media everywhere from Cosmopolitan, Vogue, Elle, is there on TV? If you can't make it, the problem is not the company. The problem is not your upline or downline, or you like someone, you don't like someone. The problem is you. Because whenever you point your fingers at something, there's 3 fingers that point back at you. I am so happy I came on this call today. I ran up the stairs. My mother's pulled her back. I'm supposed to be looking after my youngest brother with cancers, looking for where to get his food from tonight. But I came. I showed up. And I do that. I don't make any excuses on Sunday to come and support the groups that we've got. I think today was one of the classic calls that you should all take a note of. And before you go to bed tonight, remember this. You are responsible for everything that ever happens to you. So all my good and all my bad over the last couple of years, I blame me. If it is to be, it is up to me. I hope you all enjoy the call. My guests, wonderful guests, people like Oliver. I love Oliver. I think he's brilliant. You know, we don't spend enough time together. We really should. The wonderful, beautiful Helena. Got Paps in the background over there. All these wonderful, wonderful people that I work with. I'd like to say goodbye to the absolutely superb Sandy Chambers. I really can't tell you enough that this lady is one of the most unique people in this industry. 1,000 customers that she was able to support. Wonderful, wonderful lady. The absolutely adorable Judy Murray. I'm very crude and rude with her, but I hope that she doesn't take any offense because I do love her very much. And I think that Ian and Judy are an extraordinary couple. And we're very, very pleased and proud to have them as the founder members of GPG. We've got wonderful Costas in his mountain hideaway there. I want to go and see this place now, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And last but not least, before I say goodbye, Jennifer, we can't see you right now, but I think you're extraordinary. I think the crowd of people that you're with have taken away every excuse that anybody would ever have about price and I don't know people, because you're proving if it is to be, it is up to me. And for myself, Malcolm Peters, on the 27th of August, 2017, my pleasure and my privilege serving you on a GPG call on Sunday. You all have a fabulous week. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.